So the first thing I want to talk about today is anxiety kills erections, whether it's performance anxiety or anxiety about anything. It doesn't just have to be performance anxiety. Anything that's making you anxious or fearful is going to put you in the fight or flight over here, sympathetic nervous system. And that is a killer for erections. And it also promotes premature ejaculation. So let's take a look at that real quick. I'm going to zoom in. Now remember, sympathetic, that's fight or flight. Parasympathetic is rest and reproduce. This is where we want to be. But let's look at this first, because when we're talking about anxiety, including performance anxiety, that's what's happening. It's putting us into the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so I'm going to move this down a bit. I want to show you a couple things. First of all, right here, promotes ejaculation and vaginal contractions. So what that's saying is that when you go into the sympathetic nervous system, you are much more likely to ejaculate. Because whenever you do ejaculate, that's what happens. When you have the erections, like look over here, this is parasympathetic. This is where you should be, rest and reproduce. Promotion of erection of genitals. That's what you want. So this is what helps you get and maintain those erections when you're in this nervous system. And we're going to dive much deeper into that today, because it's really important when we're talking about performance anxiety. But over here, even when you got all this going, right when you're getting ready to ejaculate, your body will shift over into the sympathetic nervous system as it's going through the ejaculation, okay, or the orgasm, okay, vaginal contractions, the orgasm. However, if you just keep this in mind, if you going into the bedroom and you're in the sympathetic nervous system, you're worried about your erections. Okay, you're worried about, am I going to get an erection? Am I going to maintain erection? Am I going to ejaculate too soon? All that worry puts you in the sympathetic nervous system. And it makes it much more likely you're not going to get an erection, or you're not going to maintain your erection, or you're going to ejaculate way sooner than you want to. That's the important thing to keep in mind. So you want to go into the bedroom, into the sexual experience, already in the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, I just talked to a Diamond member this morning. We had a call this morning, and this was a big breakthrough for him because he's been struggling with a few things. He's made some progress, but then there seemed to be a little bit of a lag. And what he found out was that by doing some tweaks, he came up with some very interesting techniques that were specific to him that he implemented. It took a couple of weeks for them to work, but basically these techniques were to help ensure that he was out of the sympathetic and into the parasympathetic. And it's made a huge difference. Now, before, if he did get an erection, it took forever, right? He really had to work at it. And now he's saying that not only is it super easy to get erections, the longest it's ever taken him since he's implemented these new strategies is 90 seconds. That's the longest, right? And it was simply because of this shift, right? Well, now, he's done other things, don't get me wrong. He's been working on his ecosystem in general. But this was a main block, a main alpha inhibitor that he wasn't addressing sufficiently. And just by him learning how to go into parasympathetic before going into the bedroom, huge difference in his erections. Okay, really important to understand that. But that anxiety can be anything. Like you can be afraid that you're going to go into, this is sympathetic. You can be afraid that you're going to be going into bankruptcy. Say you got a business that's failing. Okay, that anxiety, once again, can kill your erections, can make you do premature ejaculation. You can be anxious. You could be fearful that your woman's cheating on you. You'd be thinking about that in your head or whatever. Or what happens, I have a lot of guys who think about their woman's past lovers, right? Maybe I'll bring that story up here in a second, but that happens a lot where they think about past lovers, but they didn't even know those lovers, but they're comparing themselves in their head, and it's automatically putting them in their fight or flight. So they're not performing well in the bedroom because they're in their head thinking about imaginary stuff and comparing themselves to her past lovers, which is making them very anxious. And even though they're not worried about their erections, it's the worry That's the important thing to keep in mind. It doesn't matter if you're worried about your sexual performance. That's the worst because you're going to the bedroom. But any kind of worry, any kind of anxiety is going to put you into fight or flight, which is going to negatively affect your erections and lasting power. That's the important thing to understand from here. Sex is about an experience, right? You want to have an amazing experience. We talked about this. We went much more into depth on the first class on PAAI, where we go into relaxation, arousal, and immersion. Those are the things that get and maintain those erections inside the bedroom. And when you're worried about your performance or worried about anything, you're not relaxed. And that is cornerstone. Nothing's happening unless you're relaxed, right? And not only you're not relaxed, you're focused on that shit you're worried about instead of the stuff that's turning you on. You know, that's not going to get you or maintain you erections. Okay? So I want you to understand how that works. Sex, once you're in the bedroom, it's about having an amazing experience and enjoying your partner. And if you're doing that, and like my friend, my diamond member, I talked about, who's now making sure he is good and relaxed before he goes in the bedroom, then it's so much easier for him to get these other two sexual keys going. Okay? And that's why it's working well for him. All right. I hope that's clear. An experience in the bedroom, it's not about performance. Anytime you're focused on performance, it's going to be counterproductive. Anytime you're focused on enjoying your woman, enjoying the sexual experience, and going for the things that truly turn you on, that's a win. Okay? And that's another thing I want to talk about today, and that's kind of the main topic, is it's thinking that is the problem in the first place. When it comes to getting throbbing, stage 4, rock hard on command, and lasting as long as you want in the bedroom, both permanently and naturally at any age, the first step is understanding exactly what is going on under the hood of your manhood. Because if a man doesn't understand the basic mechanics of how his manhood works, how can he expect anything he tries to work? He just ends up throwing punches in the dark, and then is frustrated when everything he tries stops working and makes his hardness and lasting power worse over time, conveniently leading him to more and more extreme treatments that further destroy his manhood and his ability to perform in the bedroom. So if this is a priority for you and you would like to finally get off of Big Pharma's hamster wheel, keeping you trapped, broken, and desperate, then you're going to want to set aside about 75 minutes to watch this free training I made just for you that's going to allow you to finally understand the ecosystem behind your manhood and bedroom performance. Like fixing a leaky pipe, you can't just drywall over it or you'll end up with a house full of black mold. You have to fix the source of the leaky pipe if you want permanent results that will last a lifetime. So I put a link in the description to claim a 24-hour access pass to my new masterclass that will take you by the hand and show you exactly what's going on under the hood. So you can finally understand exactly what methodologies, frameworks, and systems that our guys are using right now to conquer their bedroom performance permanently and naturally at any age. So go ahead and click the link in the description and I'll see you inside the masterclass. Xander Holt, signing off.